Hello, this is Right Side Trader. Today is February 13th, 2026, and this is my weekly market review, where I'm reviewing the NASDAQ 100, that's QQQ, on a quarterly chart, monthly chart, weekly chart, and a daily chart. This is all for educational purposes only, no trade recommendation, because as we all know, trading is risky, and you can lose money at trading. So please check with your financial advisor. Please check with your significant other and make sure trading is something that is suitable for you. I had a question this week. Somebody asked me about, why do you do this? I told them, first of all, I like reviewing the market at the end of my week and what did I do? Am I doing the right thing? And am I seeing the market right? Because a lot of times I'm looking just at the end of the day, and I need to look at the big picture at times. And I look at the big picture throughout the week. The other thing is, I know there's other guys. There's a handful of guys that probably went through some of the same training that I went through, and they're probably just comparing notes. Am I seeing the same thing that they're seeing? Or what am I seeing? What do I think? And that's probably pretty much it. Like I said, it's a handful of guys. But that's that. Let's get to the regular program here. Let's maximize this quarterly chart and see what we see. On this quarterly chart, what we see is red. That's not good. That means it's time for you to definitely have your stops in place and start protecting your money So let's go ahead and go down to this monthly chart and see what we see there. On this monthly chart, what we see in here, again, we're beginning to get an evening star here. These three candles right here, although we are still above the 10 moving average, technically we are in a bull market, but based on what's going on out there in the world, we got to be careful, because if we end up getting confirmation of this, we might get below the 10, and this thing may go into technically what we would call a bearish market, a bear market. Don't see that yet. We might get a nice bounce once we get there, or we might slip a little bit below that. Don't know. Money is being transferred around, being moved around, definitely. If you look at gold and silver, a lot of it is probably going there at this time based on what's going on in this country and on this particular planet at this time, to say it like that. But let's go ahead and go down to our weekly chart and see what we see there. On this weekly chart, zoom in here. One of the things on this weekly chart that we can see, I had called this high back here and we haven't broken that high. We're getting lower highs since then and got a lower low, but not quite a lower low this week. The thing is, that's why I'm saying we got to be careful. We got to be careful. We got to be careful. This evening star that we had on this weekly chart we have gotten confirmation with this candle right here, just looking at the technicals. So again, be careful, be careful, be careful. Protect your money, protect your money, protect your money. Or if you got short, just you got to play it. You got something in play at this time. No trade recommendation. Just pay attention to what you're doing at this time. That's all I can say. All right, let's go ahead and go down to this daily noise and wrap this on up. And on this daily picture, again, this was the day back here where I got these markers. I left these little markers on here that I had called as top. And since then, again, another evening star. With confirmation and another bearish pattern there. Again, a lot of times it's kind of hard to know what these things are going to do, but we did get confirmation. And then this market gave us just one day, after that down, and it bounced. But it went to a support 3 level. That's what that line is. A lot of times when you do get at that point, you do get a nice bounce that we did get there. That was last week. That was Friday of last week. I was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I was looking at that and was wondering what was going to happen. And we did we opened below pivot again. Below pivot, stay below pivot. This is one of those things that's kind of hard to get used to. It did come back above pivot, and it did end up finishing below pivot. Kind of like the way I kind of expect things. You kind of don't know. I did put out a video where I was trading this thing. It was probably this day here, and I had realized where this thing. I was trying to do a bullish trade in a downtrending market. Again, we got. Let me back up a little bit here. Let me zoom in a little bit better where you can see really a little bit more that's going on here. What I'm seeing here is a leg down. We're getting the pull back up, and then we start, maybe we're getting ready to start another leg down where this thing will go even lower. Come next week, we will look like if we don't gap up and get above pivot, we'll be opening up below pivot again, and all that's this white line, and then we can end up dropping quite a bit further down. So be careful, be careful, be careful. That's all I can say. And all. But we can see where this thing looked like it's trying to find support last time, but it was at a support 3 level. Next time, our support 3 level come next week is way down here. So again, if this market is really slipping and sliding, that's where, based on what happened not this week but a week before, when this thing was making a leg down, this initial leg down, and it's now this week, between Friday and this week, we made this back here. Come next week, we can end up down here if this thing really getting ready to drop. And that will probably put us below the 9-10 moving average, and then technically we'll be in a bear market. It will tend to be more bearish than bullish. So again, this is what I'm seeing. I don't know if this is going to, again, will we get a bounce here at this support 1 and turn this thing back around? The NASDAQ has been looking funny. I don't know what's going on with the NASDAQ at this time and all, but I can see look like money is moving out of this market. That's what's happening and all. So be careful, be careful, be careful. That's all I want to say at this time. This is Right Side Trader. Hope you guys had a great week, though. Hope you guys have a great weekend, and I'll talk to you next week. Have a good one. Right Side Trader here. Bye.